What's going on, guys? PlayBox here, and we're back for another Dragon Ball Legends video. And in this one, we're actually going to be doing a guide. So it's been quite a while since I made a guide video. I think the last one was back during Legends Festival where I showed all the best ways to grind Chrono Crystals. So in this one, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making an updated guide on the fastest way to limit break your characters, which is basically through multi-Z power. Obviously, other than summoning, because I'm sure a lot of you clicked on this video thinking that there's methods outside of summoning, which there are, and we're going to be going through them, and it's multi-Z power. So for those of you who don't know, I did make a video like this, I think over a year ago, going through like all the possible, the best ways, or pretty much all the ways to procure multi-Z power, and that video did pretty well. So I decided why not do an updated version of it, because there are some new ways to get multi-Z power in addition to the old ones. So we're going to be going through all the old ones as well. They're still to this day very effective, and we're going to be going through some of the new ones that have come up across over the years. So without further ado, let's just hop in straight into the first method. So similarly to the first guide I made, the first method is going to be maybe the best ways for you to get the Z power, and it's going to be through the dual exchange shop. Hello, where is it? The dual exchange shop right over, where the hell is it? Oh, right here. So through the dual exchange shop, where you get dual coins from playing co-op. So co-op obviously is a very boring game mode. I completely hate the game. Probably the worst game mode in this whole game, right? I enjoy Tournament of Power more than co-op, but if you do your dailies, you do get, so your dailies are 3 co-op runs. Let's just assume you're doing it through the max difficulty, which is the extreme difficulty. You will be getting 360 dual coins in addition to something like the 1 or 2 that you get per run. I do advise you to do your 3 co-op runs at least, so you get that 360, right? So once you have enough dual coins, you can see that there are 2 options of multi-Z power here. The multi-Z power 50 and the multi-Z power 100 for 4-star or higher. I would of course recommend getting the 4-star or higher one, because of course you're getting double the Z power. However, you do need to pass the 4-star requirement, right? Obviously, if you're really running out, if your units are like 3 stars, 2 stars, right? One copy for most sparkings is only 600 Z power. So it would get you at 2 stars. You would need, I believe, 1200 more Z powers before you can start utilizing this 4-star multi-Z power. So in that case, you might want to go with the 50 multi-Z power. So you get 1000 5 times per co-op reset. So that's every 2 weeks. So what is that? Around that's 250 Z power. So it's not terrible, right? But instead of 250, you could get instead 500 Z powers if your unit is 4-star or higher. So if your unit, we're going to be going through some other methods where you can use Z power to get your units to 4-star first, then you can start using this. But if you're really, you don't have any other ways to get your units to that 4-star threshold, then maybe considering the 50 Z power might be a good option. So this is going to be your pretty much the best ways you're going to be getting the Z power, because the other methods, they don't involve getting as much as this. So you know what, let's just move on to the next one. So the next method is, I guess it's not really a method, it's just that you have to play PvP. So if we take a look at the ranking rewards here, you can see that this is based off of your placement in the leaderboard, right? So if you go all the way down, you get top 100%. So this is everyone that participates in PvP. You get 200cc all the way up to top 10k. Now, this could be a bit exclusive. You know, some people do struggle to get to top 10k, which is quite understandable. You know, it's somewhat exclusive, right? But if you are able to get to the top 10k placement, you will be getting 100 Z power. But there is a slight restriction. It is for 5-star units and higher. So yeah, it is something to keep note of. You could use your co-op Z power to get your units to 5-star and then use a Z power. But this is a one-way. So when you place in the top 6 to actually place top 3 to 10k, you get only 100 Z powers. But if we move up further from the top 2 to top 1 to 3k, so anywhere in the top 3k, you get an additional 200. So, or sorry, an additional 100. So you get 200 Z power. So that's really good. And I believe you also get, you get Z power for also achieving a certain battle rank. So this is this doesn't involve your actual ranking in the leaderboard, but just simply your battle rank. So 41 to 50, you get 100 for 4-star. I think they're all 100 for 4-star. So once you hit that battle rank 41, which I would say is quite easy, it shouldn't be too difficult. Once you hit that mark, you will be guaranteed 100 Z power for 4-star units or above. It might seem quite insignificant to you, but these definitely do start adding up, and especially when you add it up with the top ranking placements, you do get quite a few Z power every 2 weeks, right? Since that's when the PvP resets. So let's just move on to the next one. So the next method is going to be through the Sparking Metal shop. Now, this Sparking Metal shop hasn't really changed much. It honestly doesn't change that often. Only the Sparking Z power sometimes changes different Sparkings. But the thing that has changed is the way you do obtain these Sparking Metals. In my previous guide, the way to get these Sparking Metals was to completing your dailies. However, recently they have completely changed the way daily missions work. Now they have like a daily stamp where you get, if you complete your dailies for 14 days straight, you get an additional 500 CC, or I think it's actually 1000 CC. So there's actually no way for getting Sparking Metals other than the logging bonus. So if we take a look at, I think if we go to status here, and we go to here, we can change our daily login bonus, and you can select the Sparking Metal. I'm not going to choose it because I'd rather take the 2 erasers, but it might be worth to get the Sparking Metal, because as you get more and more, you will be able to get that Z power. And this Z power from the Sparking Metal shop is actually quite useful, because this one is 100 for sparking and it doesn't have any restrictions. So this is probably the best way you're gonna get to get your units that are only 2 to 3 stars. This is gonna be the best way for you to get those units to the 4-star threshold, so you can start pumping them up with the co-op Z power. So you might want to maybe, you know, switch up what your login bonuses are to go for these Sparking Metals, because they might be worth it. You can also get Sparking Metals through the summon. I know it's kind of counterintuitive to summon for these Sparking Metals, because we can just summon for characters, but if you do this Happy Weekend single summon, which is only 100 CC, you do get a Sparking Metal with this. So this can add up alongside the login bonus and can help you get this 100 Z power a lot faster. And also, this is also a great way for you to get Z power for your extreme units, because for the same price as the Sparking Z power, you can get 200 multi Z power for extreme units, and we all know how rare extreme units are with their abysmal pull rate, right? So getting a 200 Z power for extreme units without any restriction can actually be very beneficial, especially with the EX units that are coming out. They're actually pretty decent, right? So you have 2 options here, one for EX and one for Sparking, no restriction, and I'd say that's a pretty good deal. So let's keep going. Alright, so next on the list is going to be through the guild shop. Now, I mentioned this in my previous video as well, but this might be a bit more like secretive way. Not many people might know this, but if you are part of a guild, you do get a currency called guild coins. I believe they're called guild coins, which opens up a shop for you that has a bunch of stuff here. Now, they actually completely changed the Z power and how it works here. It used to be like 30 Z power for specific teams, and the restriction was 5-star or higher. And that was not a great exchange rate, like getting 30 Z power for 5-star units or higher for a specific team, especially when those teams weren't very good. It was kind of a ripoff, but now they've completely changed it to where it could be to any units. However, it has to be 5-star or higher or 6-star or below. So 5 to 6 stars is the range you can use these the Z power, and then you can exchange it to 7-star or higher. I don't know why they even did it that way, because it's the same price for both of them, but I guess there's a limit now. So now there's a limit of 10 for each of these Z power, and then we also have the same versions for this extreme multi Z power. This is much better than how it was before, like I mentioned, for specific teams. So this actually could be a pretty good way, especially with these guild coins. They definitely do rack up depending on how good your team does or your guild does. As you can see, I have 743. I had a lot more than that because but I used them on slot removers. This is where I use my the guild coins the most, because if you can take a look, I can exchange a lot of slot removers for 740 coins, right? It might not be the best way, but I'd rather use it on slot removers, but it is still a way to get Z power. So You can use exchange for 10, so 10 is 300 Z power, so that's gonna be so what, 50 times, so 500 coins. 500 coin is quite a lot, but it'll give you 300 Z power, and then you can get another 300 Z power for another 500. So in total, you can get 600 Z power for sparking units for 1,000 guild coins. In my opinion, it's not that worth it, especially with all the slot removers you can get, but at the end of the day, it is your choice. So I believe that's going to be it for all the methods that I've covered from my previous guide. So now we're going to be going through some newer methods. So the first new method actually involves getting Z power for Legends limited units. In my old guide, there were actually no ways of getting Legends limited Z power through any sort of exchange shops other than well, not exchange shop, but it was through the Sparking Limit Break banner. We're gonna be talking a bit more on that a bit later, but there was really no way to kind of guarantee yourself some Legends limited Z power. It was only through summons or super chrono crystals, which is obviously it costs money, right? So if we go scroll down here, we can actually, it's a bit above here, so we can see here there's a Legends weekend shop. So if we click on it, there are two types of currency here. There's a regular weekend coin, and then there's the I can't really tell what the difference is. I think there's a great weekend coin and the regular weekend coin. The great weekend coin is one that you get once after you complete your daily mission, and you get it 3 times, right, for the remainder of the weekend. So when you get 12 of those, you are able to exchange for 100 Legends limited Z power. So if you get 3 per weekend, it'll take you 4 weeks to get enough to get that Legend limited Z power. So basically a month, right? You might be looking at this and thinking it's quite insignificant, but you know, getting LF units already is pretty rare, so having the chance to get them with 100 Z power is somewhat of a good thing. I mean, it's not really costing you anything else. You can obviously go for the slot removers instead here because there is quite a good exchange rate. Yeah, 12 coins literally gives you 60 coins. But I would say getting that 100 Z power might be a good idea, especially in the lower levels when you have like, you just need a couple hundred to get a limit break on an LF unit. I feel like at that point it might be a good idea. But once you're like past like 9 stars or something, like even past 7 stars for your LF units, it might not be the best investment for your coins. At that point you could start exchanging it for slot removers. But I'm pretty sure a lot of you have your LFs at lower stars, so maybe going for this 100 Z power can definitely add up, especially if you're getting at least 100 per month, right? So there's I think pretty much one of the only ways you can get Legends limited Z power. So let's keep going. So the next method, I didn't really want to include it, but I might as well include it. It is going to be the pity system, or I guess the exchange shop you get for every step up banner for LF units. So for those of you who don't know, when you summon on a step up banner, you get these coins. We can actually go take a look right now. So the current step up banner that's available is for the tag androids, right? And you can see that every step you get 1 coin for the exchange shop. So if you take a look at the exchange shop, what you can get is, if you somehow manage to get 50 coins, which I believe is around like 40 to 40k summons. If you get 50 coins, you can just straight up get 600 of the Z power, right? But let's just say you do already pull the LF unit in that 30k. You can either get tickets that you can use to summon for the LF unit, or you can exchange it for multi Z power for the specific, well, not for a specific, but multi Z power for Legends limited unit. So 25 coins will get you 200. There's actually 3 200 Z power. So the first one is going to be the cheaper one, which is for 15 coin, you get 200, and then for 20 coins you get another 200, and then for 25 you get 200 as well. Keep in mind that these are only one-time exchangeable items, so once you get it, they're gone. But the next one here, there's one for 30 coins, and it gives you 600. So like I said, keep in mind these are only one-time uses, right? You could for straight up the Z power for the unit as many times as you want, but if you want to use that Z power out somewhere else to another LF unit, you can only exchange it once, right? So keep that in mind. It is obviously not like a free-to-play method, unless you use free-to-play chrono crystals to summon on these banners to get these things. But I thought I might as well include it because it is one of the only ways you could get Legends limited Z power, right? So let's keep going. So the final method I want to talk about are a bunch of special events slash limited time opportunities for you to get Z power or even Legends limited Z power. So there are a couple things I want to list. So the first one I want to mention is going to be the Sparking Limit Break banner. I'll put a picture up on screen of what banner I'm specifically talking about, but it is basically a banner that pops up every now and then that allows you to do summons on it, so you do have to spend crystals on it, but it's only 3k crystals, and what you get from those summons is you get a 600 Z power Legends limited Z power. Actually, I still have mine from the last time it came, so if you take a look here, I still have mine 600 Z power here ready to use on a Legends limited unit. So you do get that, and in between each step, because it is a step up banner, you get, I believe, is upwards to 1,000 or 1,200 Z power for sparking units. So that banner, it hasn't been back for a while. I forgot when the last time it came. Who knows, it might never come at this point, but if it does, I do advise you guys to summon on that, because for only 3k CC, you get upwards to 1,200 Z power for sparking and 600 Z power for Legends limited unit. That is a lot of Z power. So you might look at it and think like, 3k is a lot to spend on Z power, but trust me, that is going to be a really good investment for you, especially for all the units that you want to level up or limit break as fast as possible, right? So that's something that you should, and I advise you should summon on whenever it does pop up, right? The next one of these little limited time events is going to be the Hoi Poi coins. Now, unfortunately for this iteration of the Hoi Poi coins, there are no Legends limited Z power available through these steps. As you can see, you get 50cc, 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 100, 100, 200, and then some rare medals for whatever reason. Sometimes when these Hoi Poi coins do come, they offer you 100 Legends limited Z power at the end, at your final step. But in this case, of course, they for some reason didn't decide to bring it back, which is unfortunate. But the last time they were here, we did have 100 Legends limited Z power, and for special celebrations like Legends Festival and the anniversary, they actually have some missions tied to them. Last year, during the 3rd anniversary, where they first introduced these Hoi Poi coins, they gave out an additional 600 Legends limited Z power to people that have completed all the steps. So they can go all out during these celebrations, so it's definitely something to keep in mind. And also, when you do these Hoi Poi coins, right, I'm gonna do a couple of them, but you do get a chance to get some Z power. So as you can see, I get the 200cc right there, but let's see if we get lucky. I'll do a couple of them. We get some platinum coins. All in all, these Hoi Poi coins are of course very valuable to use, right? But it seems like I'm getting a bit unlucky here. Can I get like just one type of Z power real quick? Okay, well, this is gonna be our last roll. Okay, no Z power, but if we look at the step information, you can scroll down. I think there should be some, maybe in this iteration there is no Z power, but in previous iterations of this Hoi Poi coin, they did drop like little 10, 30, 100 Z powers that could have been quite rare to get, but you do definitely get them. So it's just something to keep in mind for when the next time the Hoi Poi coins do return. So the final one I want to mention is going to be through the raid boss. So if we take a look, there is currently a raid boss occurring right now. It is against the FSK Gohan. But these raid bosses do drop quite often. We were getting a lot of raids early on in this year, but they kind of slowed down, and then we finally got this one. They usually tend to drop a raid boss with every LF release, so it's around once per month. But during these raid bosses, you do get a different version of dual coins, which is like I think they call this like the great dual coin or something like that, or courageous battle rewards. But you do get quite a lot of these battle rewards, these battle medals, and as you can see here, we get Z power as well. So you can exchange 10 multi Z power for sparking units 10 times, so that means 100 Z power. And similarly to the sparking metal Z power, these ones have no restriction whatsoever. So you can exchange them right now, get 10, 100 Z power, and start using them on any units without any restrictions. So you can utilize this as a way to get your units to that 4-star threshold we mentioned earlier to start using the co-op shop. You can also get these EX Extreme Z power, which will add up to 250, because like I said, there is a limit to these. And if you're able to do these raids, I'd suggest you at least do a couple runs, because you will pretty much get enough battle coins to battle medals to completely at least completely empty out this recommended section. It's happened every time I've done these raids. I was able to get enough coins to completely get all the items in this recommended section, and even have more to get some of these other items. So I strongly advise you to do these raids, because not only do you get all these recommended items, but you also get around 1200 CC, which of course everyone would like extra CC, right? Not to mention that during these raid battles, you also do get a chance to get Z power here just as a drop, right? The drop rates are kind of low, but you are still able to get those same exact Z powers that are in those shops, but just straight up from the boss itself. So you can get lucky and get Z power through this, and then in addition, you can get the ones in the exchange shop. So definitely do not miss your chance whenever these raid bosses do show up. And yeah, that's going to be pretty much all the methods that involve getting Z power to limit break your characters. A lot of these methods are somewhat slow and insignificant, but trust me, as you get them every month, every 2 weeks, they do definitely start to add up. Like I mentioned, for the co-op shop, that's probably going to be your best way to, you know, boost up your characters. So definitely do at least your dailies for your co-ops. I know they're boring, but at least do them if you want to start building up your team, because like I always mention, if you're a free-to-play player, you don't have the capacity to summon on every single banner. So you want to prioritize specific teams, and getting them and limit breaking those characters for your specific teams with multi Z power is going to be your biggest asset, because that's your best way to compete with, you know, the higher star, you know, whales and all that stuff you find in PvP. So this is going to, I hope this is going to be helpful for you guys in order to limit break your characters. If there's any other methods I somehow missed, definitely drop them in the comments below, and I'll make sure to address them. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe, because that shit is so important, so don't forget. Other than that, have a great day. See ya.